if you're someone who's wanting to get into OnlyFans management, or you're already in OnlyFans management but taking home less than $1 million profit per year, then what I'm about to give you access to has the potential to not just change your business, but the potential to change your life and the life of everyone around you that you love, just like it did mine. And I do not say that lightly. Most agencies in the next 6 to 12 months are gonna be broke. Whether they want to accept that as reality or not is another story, and I'll leave them to it if they want to let their ego take over. But that is the reality. And if you listen to what I'm about to tell you in this video, you'll see how that's going to play out. And not only that, but I'm actually going to make sure that you have a good chance to not end up that way, but thrive and take advantage of this new opportunity in OnlyFans management that nobody else is really seeing. So grab your phone, put it on airplane mode, and lock in with me for however long it takes, so you don't end up back in McDonald's flipping burgers. Now that's a bold statement, right? And for this to make sense and for you to get the same level of understanding as me, I need to first give you context, and I need to walk you through not just my journey, but the journey of agencies in the current market, right? And so I want to just walk you through how I figured this out, how I experienced what a lot of agencies are going to experience in the next 6 to 12 months, and then how I overcame that and how you can too. And so if we go back, right, all the way back, and we take it back to 2018. 2018, young Dylan was just, in college wondering what the fuck do I do with my life, right? And I dropped out of college to work for a maintenance company so I could help my mother, who at the time was battling cancer, right? I needed to do something to help her. And you can see here, I was overdrawn in my bank account when I was in college. Then I got this job. You can see my timesheet, right, with the hours I was working, doing maintenance for Aldi's. So I was working my job. I hated it just like most people. It was really frustrating. And I started looking into the online business space. I was making $2 to $3 grand a month with my paycheck, and I started learning about the make money online space. I spent every paycheck on courses, like drop shipping, SMMA, all this type of stuff. And I spent 2 years learning and implementing those skills from drop shipping and SMMA, but I didn't really have anything to show for it. And so it was in August 2020 where I realized, and I told myself that this 30K a year job that I had was actually costing me a 30K a month opportunity. So also, you can see here in 2019, my vision board, I just wanted to help people. I wanted my I-8, I wanted to travel. I didn't know this was Mykonos at the time. It's funny how that played out. I wanted to retire my mom, and I wanted to move into like a big ass bank conversion in the middle of nowhere, and I wanted 6 figures in my bank, right? That was my 2019 vision board. The second year I got into all online business because I was buying courses, and it was like, you need to make a vision board. So I did, right? And then I quit my 9-to-5 job to go all in with a different business model in August 2020 because I hadn't had success with this. And to be honest, I had shiny object syndrome. I was jumping from dropshipping to SMMA, right? Because I wasn't seeing success. So I started my OnlyFans Management Agency, which is what all of you know me for now. I've been doing it for almost 4 years. And when I started out, I quickly found success by focusing on vertically scaling. I worked with one model at the time, and I was helping her grow I literally took it from 0 to 50K a month in a very short time frame. And I was really almost shocked that this was reality, that I had managed to do this. And it just validated my approach because it was the first time I made serious, real money in such a short space of time with high profit by myself in a business that was online. And that was really opened my eyes. So soon after, and she wasn't my first model. We'd signed other models before that were just very low quality and would leave after a month or two. I was just trying to figure stuff out. But I found this one model, scaled it to 50 grand a month. Still to this day, didn't really know how I did it at that time because I didn't know a whole lot. We was just TikTok, Instagram, wherever. So then I went through a couple more models, and I signed another quality model and scaled it to similar numbers. And I was running a pretty profitable business. And I had a very small team, and we had a handful of models. We had a model making 25 grand a month, a model making 50K, and then a couple really smaller models, 2-3 grand a month that wasn't really doing much. And it felt like I had everything under control, but I didn't realize I was building a business on shaky ground. Because this one model that was at 50K a month, we ended up scaling her all the way to $200,000+ a month. And Not only that, but there was this issue of running the business itself. I was a slave to that main model, right? I was handling almost every aspect of the business on my own. From I was appointment setting, I was chatting, I was doing the creative direction, I was doing the relationship management, I was doing everything you could possibly think of. And I was working in the business instead of on the business. And it just left me burnt out. And I was just stretched too thin, right? Spread way too thin. And I didn't know who to hire or how to delegate effectively. So most of the fulfillment responsibilities fell on my shoulders. And one of the biggest challenges that I faced was not only the running of the business itself, but the fear of being able to continue delivering consistent results for the models that I worked with. And so with so much riding on just a few clients, and mainly all riding on one client, the thought of losing her and then going back to square one was always like hanging over my shoulders, right? It was always, I'd wake up every day stressed. And that fear was made a reality when my biggest client decided to leave. And it was a huge blow. I've got goosebumps thinking about this situation right now. And I spent 2 years building this creators brand from scratch. The amount of time, effort, resources, energy that I invested personally to making her a success was just insane. And despite all of that, she still left, and there was no real reason for it. And suddenly I was back to square one. And this is where I experienced going from 0 to 260K a month back to 30K a month. And I never wanted to experience something like that again. And I felt like giving up at that point. And I was at this point where I didn't really ever, I still was obviously looking to sign more models and recover this loss. But there was a part of my subconscious, I think at that time, was holding me back, because subconsciously I didn't want to go and sign another model and have to spend another 2 years building a brand and scaling it to 200 grand a month for her to leave. I just knew that that's not a sustainable business. That's volatile. If this is really how this business is meant to be run, then I don't want anything of it. I'm going to go and figure something else out, because I'm not spending all that time for a creator to leave. And so at that point I realized, like, the way I'm running a business is wrong. Like, vertically scaling a handful of models is stupid. Yeah, you can make a ton of profit over those 2 years and have some cash in the bank, but like, you haven't got a predictable, reliable business, and you'll soon run out of cash, like, really quickly, especially when lifestyle, inflation, expenses. When you go from making 260 grand a month to 30K a month, it's a very tough time. I don't care who you are that thinks, oh my God, but you're still making 30 grand a month. No, trust me, you don't realize how little money you're making until you start making more and more money, right? And so I was in this position where I was like, I don't know what to do. I was also in this position where I still had the fear of delivery, because I'd never been able to take a creator to that level before. And I didn't know if I could replicate it. And I would sign new creators and I couldn't quite replicate it. And then I think it was mainly because I was holding myself back, because I didn't want to put in as much time, effort, and energy again, because I was just like so like annoyed from this first creator. And I was just like, I just didn't know what to do. And I had no real competitive edge and no real moat to protect my agency. And it's like, yeah, I delivered results for this model that was really good. But I didn't really have a unique offer. I didn't really have tons of social proof. There was things I just couldn't offer to creators. And most models, to be completely honest, just didn't know I existed, right? And I would be constantly fighting for their attention, trying to sort of prove my worth, and just end up attracting a lot of low quality models that would end up being lazy, making 2, 3, 10K a month max, right? And I was struggling with model acquisition. And again, even if I could sign those high quality clients, I just didn't know how to maintain them. And I also didn't want to put effort into growing them when they could just leave. So I was in this weird position. And this is the position that a lot of you are potentially facing or going to face if you run the business this way. So a lot of you guys that run an agency, it's likely that you have one quality model that's bringing in the majority of your income, right? And most of you watching this video, probably between 0 to 50 grand a month, and you have one quality model that's bringing in the majority of that. Maybe you have a split between 2 models, wherever, but the majority is most of you rely on 1 or 2 big models that bring in the majority of your income, right? One quality model that's bringing in everything. And if she leaves, you're fucked, let's be real. And most of you are going to be in the same situation as me, thinking, you know, you built a good relationship with her, you took her from 0 to hero, like she would never leave, like it doesn't make no sense, like we have contracts, we have we own your social medias, all this stuff that you think is like going to protect you, it is really not. And I trust me, I experienced it the hard way. So you're at this point, most of you watching this video, just like myself, where you finally achieved your goal of providing for yourself, right? Like in 2018, I was overdrawn in my bank account with this vision, and I had achieved it in 2020 to between 2020 and 2023. And I got to this point where I achieved my goal, and you were in the same situation right now where you probably achieved that goal of finally providing for yourself. But it's that fear of your ability to continue delivering results for your model, which could result in her leaving you and going back broke, right? Not only that, but most of you are in a position where you don't actually have a real offer or a commoditized offer. And I know this because I speak to so many agencies and I ask them, okay, what's your offer? Show me your offer. And they're like, oh, it's 50-50 split. And I'm like, like, if that's you watching this video right now, like, that's not an offer. I don't like to tell you that's not an offer. That's a price, right? That's the price of doing service. And so, like, most people don't have an offer. And if they have an offer, it's commoditized and it's the same as every other agency. And so with that, most models don't even know you exist. And you have to fight for their attention and fight for them to see the value in working with your agency. And you don't have any real, like, moat or competitive edge to actually protect you. You don't have any defenses around your agency. I could just come in and sweep up. I actually did this recently. There was a creator I signed that was making 70 grand a month, and I signed her from another agency, and that entire agency was pretty much built on her referrals. I signed her, did a really good job with service delivery. She brought all her friends from that other agency, and I pretty much bankrupted that agency because my offer was so good. And all their models left, and that agency went back to zero. That's what happens when you don't have a moat to actually protect yourself, or you don't have a really good offer, or you're a commoditized offer. You're just the same as everyone else, right? And then not only that, but most of you don't have any real social proof or a personal brand. And it's 2024. Like, if you're not willing to grow a personal brand, you need to really challenge your beliefs on that. Like, why is it you don't want to put your face out there? Do you really actually want to make money and actually build something great? Because if you do, you're going to need a personal brand. Yeah, you could partner with someone that's going to build a personal brand for you, but personally, I'd prefer to have control, right? And so if your outreach works, models most of the time probably don't see your messages, and high quality models are never going to choose to work with you because you don't have the right positioning and branding, and there's no trust. You can't create confidence. And so you only attract low quality models unless you get lucky where you've attracted a model that's you've taken from zero to hero, for example. And you're also likely stuck doing outreach. You're unaware of other model acquisition methods. And even if you're aware of them, you don't know how to execute them because you've tried and failed. And so you're experiencing this feast and famine when it comes to signing clients, right? You know, 1 week you might sign 4 clients, and then you might go hungry for 2 months without signing any. And not only that, but just like myself, you are a slave to your main model, and you're working in the business instead of on it. And some of you watching this video are even handling the chatting, because every time you try and hire a chatter, they don't do as good as a job as you, and you have to go back, because otherwise, if you don't get her results, she's going to be pissed and she's going to leave. And not only that, but you don't know how to hire the key roles and hire the talent, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. You don't understand how to hire a media buyer, appointment setting, closers, creative directors, relationship manager, etc. Most, if not all, of the fulfillment probably falls on your shoulders, or you and your business partner, wherever it is, right? And so that was the same as me, right? That was the same as me, and that's the current situation of the majority of you watching this video now. And if that is, that should scare the fuck out of you, right? And so what I want to explain is, I was in that situation, and I want to explain to you now how I actually went from losing 200 grand a month to my OFM agency and almost going broke to now having scaled it back to over $1 million a month in revenue. And if this isn't a transformation that you'd like to go through, then please stop watching this video now, as the story I'm about to share with you will make you hate your current situation. You will be like, oh my God, I hate this. But you need to be aware of your current situation to fix it. So if we have a look here, this was my aha moment of accessing a more leveraged model. And when I say model, I don't mean OnlyFans creator, I mean like model, like the business, right? And so I went from 0 to 260K to back to 30K, and then from 30K to 1.3 mil in 13 months. And you can see my inflow here. And how I did that was, instead of focusing on a handful of models like I originally did, and like a majority of you have been taught to do, because most of you have been sold a dream of just sign a couple models, like scale up to 50 to 100K a month, and you're going to print money and you're rich and this and that. Yeah, you can get rich like that. You can be rich for a year or two, but it's volatile. You have a stupidly high risk exposure. You have no predictability, no reliability, and you could be unemployed overnight. And so instead of focusing on a handful of models and vertically scaling them, increasing my risk exposure, I decided to productize my service and standardize the fuck out of my fulfillment so I could sign any creator, and the more I signed, the more money I'd make. So all I needed to really focus on was, once I'd standardized and productized that service delivery, it was just like, right, let's just turn the client acquisition tap on and just keep clients coming through. The more we sign, the more money we make, right? And I was able to do that without the stress of like every client I need to put all this effort into, and I need to hire all these new people and new chatters and this and that, because I productize my service. And every single, like, all I pretty much do now is just look at my profit and loss, right? So now I only had to focus on acquisition to make more money, as my service was pretty much productized, apart from our A team, who we focus on providing a tailored service to. And I'm going to explain what that is. And this is called the ABC team structure, or the ABC team system. And this is something that I personally developed. You'll never have seen anything like this because no one else has done it. And that's the God's honest truth. I would be absolutely shocked if anyone else had developed this, because this took me so much time to figure out and develop, and I had to go through a lot of pain to figure this out. And so we got the C team, the B team, and the A team. Now the C team focuses on the newer, low quality models who need to build a strong foundation with a high volume, consistent content using proven blueprints and flexible recording setups, right? It's productized. Then the B team in our agency consists of mid-tier models where they receive a blend of organic traffic strategies and a level of consultation. Similar fulfillment delivery, just with an element of consultation and a bit better chatting. Then the A team is reserved for the top tier models, providing them with the full attention and the best resources available, including personalized content strategies, more advanced resources, more one-to-one mentoring, and just pretty much they get the full level of service at the highest level. And so what that does is the ABC model allows me to vertically scale the high quality models in my A team with the full attention, best resources, and it then allows me to horizontally scale the B and C team in a standardized way, while also allowing models to work their way up to join in the A team or stay where they are. So for example, let's just put it this way, and this wouldn't be the same for you because it's different for every agency depending on how you used to apply this system. It's not just like a binary thing. But with our C team, it's creators making less than 10 grand a month. So we sign them, productize, give them all the stuff. You do that, you go run the play, you make money, and we'll make money. If they work their way up, they get past 10K a month, we'll now bring them into our B team, to where that's the 10 to 30K a month team, a bit higher level of delivery. If they then get to the 30K a month part, bring them into our A team, and that's where we really focus on blowing you up. And we can really spread our risk this way and split the risk quite heavily between multiple models, literally having 100 models now at the agency. We're able to really decrease that risk exposure. So if one model leaves, whether it's A, B, or C team, it's not really that big of a deal because we can just continue to replace. So it's actually easier, contrary to popular belief, if you have your agency standardized and run a specific way, it's actually easier to just go and sign 1,000 models, making $1,000 a month with a 50-50 split and make $500 off each model. It's easier to do that and make 500 grand a month than it is to scale 1 or 2 or 3 models to 500K a month. And it's actually more reliable, it's actually more predictable, and it's actually less volatile, and it's a better way to run the business, believe it or not. But you need to run this ABC team structure to be able to pull that off with all the other things. And this is just the basic overview, right? So the best way to decrease operational drag at scale is this model. It is this ABC structure. And the last thing you want to be doing is going all in on one client, putting all your efforts and resources into it while being massively exposed to the potential risk of her leaving when she plateaus, which is inevitable, and now you're unemployed again. And the next last thing that you want to be doing is focusing all your time and energy into fulfillment for low quality models, wasting your time but overworking yourself, being a slave to your models, while also getting massive imposter syndrome when these models don't get results, or they don't respect you, or they don't listen, or they're lazy, maybe all of the above, which has you running around like a headless chicken looking for quick fix solutions, potentially turning to black hat marketing methods or these new shiny objects to get more traffic to your page, but you just end up getting burnt anyway. Or maybe you see results for a month and she spikes and then you're back down, and then everyone's wondering why, and so you just go from this, and it's up and down, this volatile, and you're back to square one, hunting for the next shiny traffic generation system, buying all these bullshit 997 courses that are selling you scams. And that's just the God's honest truth. And you think traffic is the issue, but really it's a systemization issue. It's a business operating issue, because the thing is, everyone in OFM thinks they're business geniuses because it's, at the end of the day, I would say it is the easiest business in the world to make money from. I know like absolute retards, if we're being completely honest, making 50 to 100 grand a month. They're going to be broke in the next 2 years, don't get me wrong, but it's just so easy to make money. and you've been sold the dream and sold the wrong way to run the business. And so like most of you never actually learn the fundamentals. Most of you never learn to become great operators, great business leaders, good executives, like good CEOs. Like you never really learn the real core skills. At least I've never met like really anyone that's done that apart from a very handful of people who are doing extremely well. And that's what separates the agencies below and my agency, for example. And it's because you've been sold that dream. And so the thing is, most of you think, like, for example, I got a traffic issue, but really it's an acquisition issue because you don't know how to find those high quality models. And even if you could, you fear your ability to deliver anyway because you haven't really proven a process. And so when I adopted this system, I pretty much had achieved everything I had ever imagined in life. I had achieved my vision board. I had helped people. I had got my dream car. I'd gone to traveling for an entire year. I'd retired my mom. I'd done all this stuff. I got the bank conversion. I got the 6 figures in my bank account, as we can see here. Exactly the same account, right? 7851. And if we scroll all the way to my bank account last year, you can obviously see 7851, same account, right? And we went from building out theme pages to promote our models, thinking this is the best way, to what we're doing now. And this is the model life cycle, which I kind of just talked about, where your model's expectations continue to go up, but your agency delivery will eventually plateau. And that means the model delivery, like her effort levels, will also plateau because she'll get comfortable the more money she makes, and that's when she'll leave and join a shinier agency. So when I adopted this model, we really went crazy, and we did 1.3 mil a month, which is our highest month. And we also had a 50K day very recently. And this is not to say I make 18 million a year, but we launched a creator. So, I'd love to make 50K a day. I'm sure we'll get there soon in the next couple of years. But we did a 50K day, which is the biggest day we'd ever done, because we launched a creator in our launch team, which is another part of the ABC team structure. As you can see as well, you're still able to, even with 100 plus clients, still able to give the A team such a good level of service delivery to where you can still take them to, multiple 6-figure months from, 16K months. Not only that, but I was voted Young Entrepreneur of the Year at the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, right? I was nominated for that award. I spent a week in Vegas masterminding with Sam Evans and Emozi. I done a bunch of crazy shit. I finally went on my dream trip to Mykonos and took 12 creators with us and a couple of my friends. This was a big one for me. I achieved my childhood dream and was able to sit courtside to watch LeBron play. Pretty expensive to sit courtside, and it was the best investment ever. I finally bought my dream home, which was a 6-bedroom bathroom barn conversion in the middle of nowhere. Vision board achieved. I retired my mother and took her to Mykonos for a month as a celebration. We had private chefs, private dinners, private drivers, yachts, seaside villas. It was pretty insane. And I was also able to do some crazy stuff with the agency, take some creators from, $200, $300 a month to 4K to 92K in 1 month, all from organic traffic, right? And you can see, like, on the account, right, 11 million views in a couple of days, 13 million views in also a few days. Same creator, 2 accounts, and same time frame in April that we was able to do that. And that's because our systems are dialed. And so if we go back to this situation that everyone's in, to bridge that gap and get you to the situation you need to get to where you're making at least 100 grand a month that's sustainable and predictable and reliable, at the bare minimum, you're going to need 5 models to do that. And ideally, you want a lot more, but 5 models you can do it with and have a risk exposure that is like 10%, for example, right? So ideally, to get this desired situation, you need to lower your risk exposure, and ideally you don't want one model that's taking up more than 12% of your risk. When I say that, I mean if you've got, let's just say you're making 100 grand a month right now, but one of your creators is making $90,000 a month, and then you've got another creator making $10,000 a month, you've got a 90% risk exposure. If she leaves, you're fucked. Let's be completely real. And so to stop that from happening, and to get that 100K a month sustainable and to continue to grow that, you need systems. And you need to firstly have a dialed offer, because the offer aligns with the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule. Because if you get the offer right, 80% of the work is done. And an offer is going to inspire confidence in your market and separate yourself from the cesspool of OFM agencies that you're competing with currently, all doing the same thing, competing for the same clients, which I do not personally compete with. I literally got off a call with a model a couple of days ago, and she was explaining, like, I just spoke to 6 other agencies and this was a really big client, hence why I took the call with her. I don't really take calls anymore, but I took the call with her. And she was like, yeah, I spoke to 6 other agencies. They're all saying the same thing. They were all going to do the same thing. They was all promising me like these crazy ratios and this and that. You were the only people that had this specific offer and said the right things and, was real and transparent with me. And I really liked that. So that's why I decided I want to join with you, blah, 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 blah. Right. And like, it's just so easy. It's so easy when you have a dialed offer to be able to do that. But most of you don't have an offer, and to craft an offer, we must understand the person we're crafting it for. We don't create an offer for our service, we create an offer for a person. And if we understand that person, what makes them tick and why they act the way they do, we can put things in place to make them take action. But the offer isn't enough, and 5+ models with the 10% risk exposure isn't enough, right? You also need to dominate your niche, and you need a personal brand. And if you're not willing to go through this transformation of getting a personal brand, you may as well quit now, because you're never going to be able to compete with me or anyone else that's doing this. And this allows you to build a more effective inbound, outbound, paid, and referral-based acquisition system. It helps with all these. It puts them on steroids. And it's also going to help your offer, make that better. And it's going to build trust and confidence in your prospects. And also it positions you as an authority in the industry, which allows you to attract better talent, but also solidifies your standing in the market, reducing the risk of losing models to competitors. You effectively create a moat around your agency. And when I grew my personal brand, and I haven't got the biggest personal brand, but it has a huge impact, and you'll be very shocked. But by building a personal brand, I was actually able to create a moat around my agency. And due to the positioning in the offer, I was able to clean up and separate myself from the competition, who all looked the same and didn't have an offer. As you can see, we've had a couple big viral videos on TikTok, 51K followers, doing all right on YouTube, a couple high view videos, Instagram recently, last month, 420K accounts reached, doing pretty well. And that allows me to get messages like this, where a creator will message me and I make a free 20K a month and is, asking me for help. Right? That's what happens when you create a personal brand. Leads come to you. You can build insane inbound systems where you have people reaching out to you, right? It's the easiest thing in the world. I get messages every single day from models, and I don't even have that big of a personal brand, right? But it's just the way that our inbound system is built allows me to be able to do stuff like this. And that also allows me to get some big ass payouts from Stripe, right? So personal brand you need. You need a fucking personal brand. But again, that's not enough. You need to find a way to increase lead flow and book more appointments, because it's the biggest bottleneck and the biggest constraint for the majority of agencies I speak with today is lead flow and appointment booking. You need a predictable and reliable model acquisition system to generate leads. And you need to, if you build this, it's going to firstly help you minimize that risk exposure through client acquisition. And it's also going to increase more profit the more models you acquire if you implement the ABC structure. Not just that, but you're going to need talent acquisition. And you don't want to be figuring out how to chat, how to do content. You just want to hire the people that eradicate this issue from your business, right? You can get a basic understanding and do it yourself, improve the process, but you want to get rid of that, and you want to hire the talent to take care of that for you, so you're not working in the business. And that's going to come with you knowing how to train them, how to hire, who to hire. But when you do this, you're never going to have to worry about fulfillment. Like I said, with my agency, I don't really do anything other than look at our profit and loss sheet and write SOPs and iterate on our systems, make some Petri dish experiments with the systems and do stuff like that. Other than that, I don't do anything other than the stuff I want to do. And it's because I have the people in place to do it. I haven't put tons of time, effort, and energy into a creator in the last year, and I've still got creators doing big months, like really big months, and a lot of them, right? And I haven't put any effort. Most of them don't even speak to me or get to speak to me. And so when you can find the right talent, like creative directors and people, and put the right players and the A players in the right positions, you're never gonna have to worry about fulfillment. And whether it's content, whether it's traffic, whether it's lazy models, whether it's chatting, whether it's relationship management, you don't have to worry about it. And it's so freeing. It's like the business actually serves you, okay? And that is going to come down to leverage fulfillment. You need leverage fulfillment. And so the integration of the ABC system and also our freemium OnlyFans chatting strategy provides an insane solution to fulfillment issues, ultimately creating the most leveraged OnlyFans management agency model in the world that no one's ever created or done. There's probably iterations of this system with hyper successful agencies, but this is something that I created myself, and so I'm pretty highly confident that no one else is doing this. I'd be pretty shocked. And so, like I said, you categorize the models into the ABC team system, which allows tailored support and optimizes content creation while efficiently allocating your resources. High-performing models receive personalized attention, while standardized processes ensure that mid-tier and low-tier models still benefit from the proven strategies without overwhelming them. So they can still grow and still do well if they choose to. If not, we'll still make money from them. If they tune, we replace them, it's fine. It's the most leveraged way to run the business, the most profitable way, and the easiest way to run the business. And that's not to say it's like really easy, oh my God, like I'm selling you a dream. That's not what I'm saying. But once you have this system set up, it just makes your life so much easier. You don't wake up stressed every single morning, having to spend 12, 15 hours working in the business. And with the ABC system, the freemium strategy complements that by focusing on maximizing the fan engagement, because we can drive so much traffic with the ABC system that this freemium strategy, if you run it the correct way, just prints fucking money, and you don't tend to hit creator plateaus as often. So a lot of agencies will have creators stuck around 50 to 60K a month and can't seem to break that. Freemium strategy, you can really smash through that. And that's not to say this is the best one, the one strategy that's going to solve everything, but it's definitely the most scalable and structured approach to chatting and maximizing that environment. And there's so many pros to this that it's a no-brainer to run with big creators and any creator. And it ensures that all fans, from high spenders to those on a budget, are effectively catered to, driving consistent revenue growth. And we sort of run the whole GFE strategy, but on steroids. And together, these systems obviously address the challenges of fulfillment, and it streamlines your operations, reducing the dependency on individual models, and creates a sustainable, scalable structure. And this is what leverage fulfillment looks like: a system where growth is driven by efficient processes, clear team structures, and scalable strategies, allowing you to focus on acquisition and expansion without the burden of day-to-day operational drag. Okay, imagine how good you'd be if you only had to focus on acquisition and you just made more money by a result of that. It would be pretty amazing, right? So that being said, this is what it looks like. If I had to do it from scratch and go from 0 to 50K a month to 100K a month, right? That's sustainable 100K a month, like at the bare minimum with this strategy, these are the things I would focus on. The offer and branding, I would dial in. I would dial in my offer and branding, get a process, system, and the talent to really dial this in. Acquisition, I would focus on, again, I would go dial process, system, and the talent for this, and the same with fulfillment. These are the main things, and these are the only things that really matter to get you to this desired state of 100 grand a month. And I know this because we've collected a lot of data on the agencies that we work with in our partnership offer, and we've collected so much, like we track and collect all the data from the agencies we work with. When we work from agencies, they're making 30 grand a month all the way up to 500 grand a month. And we track everything that they do. So I've literally seen the inside, and I have such a different perspective from a lot of these other people selling courses, because I don't sell a course, right? We specifically partner with agencies, consult with them, work with them, give them systems, SOPs, etc. And so I've seen the inside, and I track everything because that's the most important part for me to not only improve my own agency, but also to see what other people are doing and iterate on those systems. And so I've seen the inside of like 100 agencies, like the real core inside of them. And so like I have a perspective that no one else really has, because I see so much stuff that people don't see. And I know how to solve them because we've now solved them for so many people. And so like this is what I would do to get it from scratch. This is what sort of like the basic flow of having a productized plus consultant effort looks like for like B team, for example. Then this is just on like the content side, not necessarily the like chat inside or the acquisition side. This is just like I just wanted to make like sort of brief look at what that looks like, of, you know, having sort of content verticals with the creator blueprint, with proven verticals that you give the creator, so standardized track and that YouTube strategy, using some AI, a bunch of other stuff, right? And you can, if you like leverage this, you can easily be making sort of like a sustainable 20K a month with every model on B team, and it's just easy money. And these are like all the sort of systems that we've helped a few agencies implement. And dial in their fulfillment, their acquisition, and their offer and branding. I'll sort of walk you through what that looks like now. So if we look at Stephen, right, I've been working with Stephen for a while, and he actually experienced this very similar thing to me. He was in his job, he was making really good money, he was making like $8,000 a month in his job. He ended up working alongside his agency while working along his job, and for 12 months, he was working this job, he was growing the business, he'd paid his entire team, he wasn't getting paid because he just wanted to pay his team, he was happy with the money he was making from his job, but he wanted to make sure that the business was risk-free before he jumped into it, which you can never really do that, but he wanted to make sure he was comfortable jumping in, and so he decided to quit his job when the business was generating 70k per month, quit his job, and he was like, right, I'm safe, I'm good to go, but he had the same lesson as me, and he failed to realize that one of his creators was the biggest creator, taking up the majority of his risk. He'd been working with her for a year straight, and he never thought she'd leave because he literally took her from zero to hero. They'd met up multiple times in person. They had a really good relationship. Like, it was a really strong model agency relationship. She took up like 62% of his business. Long story short, she left. And that put him in a really vulnerable position, and he pretty much went back broke for a bit and had to recover his agency. That's when I helped him implement the ABC structure, and that was able to get him back up to 300 grand a month. And I've been working with him for 2 years now, and he's also one of the partners. He was my first partner agency, and he's also now one of the coaches in our partnership. And so he went from losing 62% of his business, and he managed to recover within just 4 months and managed to scale back to over 300 grand a month by optimizing this. The chat in operation became one of the biggest cornerstones of the business, driving 80% of their revenue. And it operates in a top tier gamified sales environment with a strong emphasis on the relationship building approach and the freemium strategy. And so his offer and service is that good with the ABC strategy now that he's able to guarantee clients that they will double their earnings in the first 30 days, or they don't even pay them anything. And so you can sort of see the transformation that me and Stephen have gone through over the last 2 years, helping him, originally teaching him that, look, vertical scale is the way to go. This is what I'm doing. I'm making all this money. You should do the same thing. To then me getting absolutely destroyed by it, and then telling him, bro, like, you need to figure this shit out. Like, you're going to get wrecked. Him not believing me and then getting wrecked, and then me going, look, I've fixed this problem. Go and run the play. And you can just sort of see our journey here when I first met him and give him his award, and when he first made his 7-figure award and made his first earnings, and even some heartwarming stuff that just really it's really nice to see. Like, the first 9 months he met me, he started the business, he became a millionaire, and that was instrumental I was instrumental in creating that, and that resulted in him flying to the Maldives with his family for an entire month and remarrying his wife, which is amazing, right? And so, he's crushing it right now. He's absolutely killing it. And again, 300k a month, agency owner. And I'll show you another case study who I helped implement this recently as well, which was Finn. 6 months ago, he approached me looking to grow his business. At the time, he was working with one single model. He had like 100% risk exposure, and he was generating around 15 grand a month. And he was really anxious, relying on that one client, and he was struggling with outreach. He didn't know anything to separate himself from other agencies, and that's all he really wanted to do, and he wanted to not put all the risk on one model. And he had no chatters. He had no idea how to hire chatters, who to hire, how to train them, and he was also working a sales job at that time, and he was trying to build the agency on the side with his brother, and he was really eager to want to leave his job, but it was really good money, and so he needed to make sure the agency was making enough first. And by this point, they'd been running an agency for about six months, and he was relying on free courses, cheap courses, free groups, like all this free information, but he wasn't having much success with it. He hadn't really moved, and his model was plateauing, so he was getting scared that she's going to leave and it's going to demotivate them, and he's just going to go and get his job. And he had tried like all the other stuff like Amazon and trading, and OFM was the first time he saw any real success, just like myself. So he came to me, I helped him, and he really did transform his business. And absolute pleasure working with someone like Finn and Jesse, just absolute killers. And they're now generating 188 grand a month. He operates out of a 12-person office with an in-house team. He manages, I don't know how many models he manages now, but he models a good amount. I think he manages like 18 models at the moment. And that has allowed him to move into his dream high rise, reduce his risk exposure by his dream car, diversify that portfolio, reduce his risk exposure, and he's no longer relying on that one single model for his income. And he has a fully serviced UK chatting team. He's achieved his goal of now quitting his job, and he's fully committed. And within 6 months, we helped him add an additional $173,000 in new monthly recurring revenue, which is about $2 million a year. And you can see here in May, they were fighting who can get the first 170K month in our partnership, his first 100K month. So yeah, this is his update that he sent me recently about doing the 188K. So he's crushing it. Someone again that we helped implement this structure. I've got so many of these case studies. I'll just give you one more because time is of the essence. But Charlie is another one. Now this guy was in a different position, completely brand new. But I wanted to take a chance on Charlie because I liked him. I resonated with him. Very, very similar story to me. And I thought I'd give him access to this infrastructure and just to see how it goes, because I'm a bit of a mad scientist. And so when he came to me, like Charlie even said himself, he described himself as an average guy working his 9 to 5. He had a single mother as well, like me, and they were struggling to make ends meet, which is why I resonated with him such a lot. And I was like, right, let me see if this works not just on an agency, but on someone who's completely brand new. And he was fed up with his job. He tried everything else, like dropshipping, the story. Everyone goes to the same journey, it seems like, in the internet days. So did I myself. And he was just fine. He was just trying to find a way out of his situation. And 4 months after starting to work with me, he was able to quit his 9 to 5, which was insane. I've got the update video here when he first added 20K in new MRR. And it was insane. He quit his job. And now current day, he's making 40 grand a month. And he now earns more in a single month than he did with his old job an entire year. So he started with us at 0, and now he's doing 40K a month in 6 months, which is insane to go from complete 0. Like, he didn't even know anything about the industry, like no prior knowledge at all. Like, he literally didn't have a clue. And you can see in his testimonials here, like, he doesn't have an absolute clue what he's doing, what he was doing when he started. And now we've turned him into a really good business operator. Made that first 2K day with his business partner, James. And they're just crushing. So it's really good to see. And yeah, it's just insane. So I actually want to help you leverage our 7-figure OFM 3-step blueprint, which, like I mentioned, is going to be offer and branding, acquisition and fulfillment, right? I want to give you access to this infrastructure, to these systems, to really skyrocket your agency, and I want to help you implement it. And so, like, I finally figured out how to not just thrive, but instead thrive in the new age of OnlyFans management. I truly mean that. Like, I truly mean that. Like, this is the best way to run the business hand on heart. And this is, you'll have never seen anything like it. And it's ridiculous. And so I'm at the point where we're ready to help you implement this blueprint. And the blueprint focuses on solving for the top 3 obstacles that are keeping agencies from experiencing $1 million a year all the way to $1 million a month. And so the first thing I want to help you dial in is that offer, right? I want to help you dial in. I want to give you access to all our systems. I want to help you really dial in the offer side of things. I really want to help you do that. And it's because after testing an infinite amount of offers, we finally figured out the most irresistible offer that allows us to have models begging to work with us, pretty much, right? And countless clients have now implemented this exact offer to start closing clients non-stop. And we speak every day with OFM agencies who are struggling to find an edge and can't seem to lose potential deals because they have no unique offer mechanism within their service that makes models want to work with them. And when I say clients have implemented this exact offer, I do not mean the exact, like, word for word offer, but they've utilized our offer system and structure to iterate on it and tailor to their service and tailor it to them. So they have a unique offer mechanism that allows models to actually want to work with them. And you can see, like, some of the things I signed when they had their offer and acquisition system. Like, I signed 27 clients this month, almost one a day. I got too many models I can handle, like 3 in the last 3 days. 4 in a week, like 3 in 24 hours. Like, you can sort of see, you sign a model making 20K a month, etc. Then I want to help you dial in your acquisition system. And your acquisition system is going to allow you to get results like I just showed you, right? That's the key part. The offer and the acquisition go hand in hand. And the offer is the 80-20. And I want to give you access to all these systems and show you exactly how we are just the best in the market at acquisition. And after helping hundreds of OFM agencies launch their client acquisition campaign, I've learned that the top 1% of agencies are inevitably more successful because they leverage more than one acquisition channel. And they also focus on creating a personal brand, which is really key. The rest of the industry is stuck competing and sending cold DMs that are never read by models while leveraging the following to stand out and dominate an entire industry, right? So most people are stuck competing, sending cold DMs, and we're leveraging an outbound and inbound acquisition system, a recruiter and referral system, the right sales and closing process, and last but not least, if you're going to dominate your niche, you need to create a personal brand. And we're doing that to stand out and dominate the industry. And we've built our 7-figure acquisition system modeling not just our own agency, but from looking at the data from the top agencies that we've worked with. And we believe that you need the above implemented in your business to never struggle with generating leads, appointments, and new clients for your agency. I've got an endless scroll of more client results here. If you have no idea where I am and you think I'm full of shit, I could scroll for ages. It's ridiculous. I could keep scrolling for days, and I could even go to this folder and scroll through videos of people thanking us, help them, right? Like, I'm not going to do that. I've already showed you results. But the point is, like, I want to help you dial in, firstly, your offer, because that's the most important asymmetric thing that we need to do. That's going to give you the biggest asymmetric advantage. Once you dialed in the offer, let's get the acquisition systems dialed in, right? Once we've done that, I want to help you with the fulfillment, because it's all well and good having an amazing offer and an amazing acquisition, but if you don't have the fulfillment, if you don't have the ABC delivery structure, you're in the bin. You're not going to have a clue how to sustain the business. So I want to help you implement our 7-figure fulfillment system, which is going to create an offer and acquiring the models is the easy part. And you know this if you have clients, right? But the hard part about running an OFM agency is knowing how to get results and keep getting results for your models. And after almost losing my entire monthly revenue, I went on a journey to find the right fulfillment model that would keep me from having to rely on 1 to 3 models while maintaining a dialed in fulfillment that would generate consistent results to the hundreds of models that work with us. So here's what we discovered and what has now become non-negotiable for anyone wanting to run a 7-figure OFM agency that's predictable, reliable, and sustainable. You need an ABC delivery team structure. You need a scalable onboarding system. You need a traffic generation system, chat-in systems, and a client management and retention system. While every OFM agency owner out there is struggling to sustain generating results for 1 to 3 models they onboarded a month ago, implementing the above allows you to onboard, and I mean infinite amount of models, constantly knowing how to generate traffic, and allows you to make as much money as possible. Here's some results from some models that we can still maintain an extremely high level of service delivery from. 9K gross in 11 hours from $200 in subs in a day. Like, how is that possible? You're a wizard. You can sort of just look at these for yourself, like 20K in a couple of days, blah, 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 blah. So let us help you apply these in your agency at a discount. We've been working on something special behind the scenes that has just been generating crazy results for our clients. And we're ready to help more OnlyFans management agency owners implement our insights. And so we're looking for 5 OnlyFans management agency owners looking to scale past 100K a month to $1 million a month in the next 6 to 12 months. If that's not you, you can stop watching the video. And it's because we want to validate that our model and systems that we've been implementing for our internal clients can work for everyone else before we increase the price by $5,000 and release it to the public next month. And so let us help you build and implement our 7-figure OFM offer, our 7-figure acquisition infrastructure and system, and our 7-figure fulfillment ABC system. If you can leverage the above and scale past 100 grand a month, I'll then offer you the opportunity to have me as a direct partner within your agency and have me send you clients that we can't handle. Now, if you stuck it out this far, I've also got some bonuses, right, to reward you guys that have watched this far. So in order to make it inevitable for this to not be successful for you, we've decided to offer the following bonus to the first 5 people that claim our 7-figure OFM 3-step blueprint. What that looks like is me and my team are going to be hosting daily workshops. So we're going to be solving problems for our clients' lives so they never go more than a day dealing with something that we've already solved in our agency. And that's daily workshops with me and my team live, where we're literally going to be on there, me, my entire team, like Stephen, Jen, all these people are going to be on the call workshopping. And that also falls into the next part, which is going to make it inevitable for you to not be successful, is leveraging my partner's 300 grand a month team. So Stephen, who is now one of our partners, you're actually going to get access to him as the CEO and his chief marketing officer, who's at the scale you want to be. So they're going to also be doing the daily workshops. So it's just insane. Not only that, but you're going to get access to a private one-on-one consulting channel with me and my team. So after testing this with a few clients, this has been one of the biggest game changers, allowing clients to have a private place to communicate with me and my team, not just some like bullshit, a group community with no support, or, responding to some VA, or having to wait ages for the main person you put the program off to reply via email or WhatsApp. Like, you're literally going to get a private consulting channel with us that you can hit up 24 hours a day. Now, obviously, I sleep, so I'm not going to be there 24 hours a day, but every single day I'll be there to look and support you and send you SOPs or this or wherever you need to plug and play the problems that you're facing. And the next thing I want to do is done for you ads. Okay, so after spending 30 grand on ads, you can see my ad account here. We finally realized that ads is by far the fastest and easiest acquisition channel to acquire clients and models. Therefore, we wanted to offer you the ability to have my internal team launch your ads campaign, leveraging all our proven ads audiences copy that has worked for our agency and our other clients. And then lastly, the biggest asymmetric advantage I'm going to give to everyone is the creator blueprint and proven verticals. Now you can briefly see what that kind of looks like for a B team, but it's obviously a lot more in depth than this. And you can sort of see like some of the stuff that we've got here, which is just insane. So I want to give you that. Every single OFM agency owner out there struggles to constantly generate new traffic for their models, which leads them to making no money once they've burned out their current audience. We don't experience this problem, and it's because we figured out a proven process to tap into new audiences every single month for our models, leveraging our 20 plus proven content verticals. And I've decided to put all of our proven content verticals and create a blueprint as a bonus to make sure that you never have to struggle with traffic again. This is something I'm not giving to everyone because I've frankly spent too much time, money, effort, and resources creating this and building it from scratch. There's no way I would ever release this publicly. I'm sorry, but this is something that has been an absolute game changer for the people that we've applied this to. It's been fucking insane. And if you don't master the ability to generate new traffic for your models, not only will you not make money month after month, but you'll lose every model you sign after 30 to 60 days. Okay. And so, we haven't got a single model in our agency less than 1 million views in the last 7 days, right? You can sort of see some people that are implementing these in early stages, because this has been something that's been just insane. We've been iterating on this system for a long time, and we finally got to a point where it's like, holy shit, this is cracked. So how do you apply to work with us? So again, I'm not going to be giving this to anyone. You're going to need to apply, because I'm not giving, sorry, like I said, I'm a nice guy, but I'm not that nice to where I'm just going to give you all my systems and infrastructure from offer and branding to acquisition to fulfillment for free. It's just like for the public for free, right? To give it to everyone for the public for free is just not going to make sense. So I do want to give it to 5 agency owners, like I mentioned, and that's it, like no more. And so for the next 10 days, you're going to need to apply. And how you apply is we've opened up a couple more slots on our calendars to get to speak and onboard the first 5 OFM agencies who are interested in leveraging this 7-figure OFM blueprint before we actually increase prices and drop it to the public, right? And I'm personally going to be taking some calls with founders, as not only my team can't handle the volume that we're already generating from our other funnels, but I want to make sure that the people I'm giving this infrastructure to are worthy of it and are going to utilize it in the proper way that it's meant to be used. Because frankly, I have slaved away in this room and not traveled for the last 6 months because I've just been in this room locked away, building this shit out and making it so I can give it to and implement it and plug and play it into other agencies. That has driven me mentally insane, and I want to make sure that the people I'm giving it to can actually leverage it in the right way. And so I'm personally going to be taking calls with people that apply, especially the ones that I feel like this could potentially work for. And so these bonuses and offer, again, is only going to be available until we find the 5 agencies to validate our blueprint systems. So that being said, if you want access to all of this stuff and all the stuff we talked about in today's video, then click the link somewhere around this video. It's going to allow you book a call, probably a link below, button below, apply. Make sure you apply, and if we like your application, then you will have the call. If we don't think this is going to work for you and we don't like your application, you book a call, we will just automatically cancel your call. So yeah, we're trying to find those 5 agencies to validate these blueprint systems. So if you think that's you and you want to fill out the application process and yeah, let's run her up, and I'll see you at the top. Peace. Book below.